The Town of Los Gatos meeting of the Planning Commission of December 10th, 2025 is now called to order. I will now call the roll. Commissioners, please state here when your name is called. Commissioner Burnett?
Here.
Commissioner Rossby?
Here.
Vice Chair Birch?
Here.
Commissioner Barnett?
Here.
Commissioner Sorty?
Here.
And I am here as well. Please note for the record that Commissioner Stump is not present. Please all stand if you are able as Commissioner Sorty leads us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As the Planning Commission conducts the meeting this evening, we encourage active participation by the public, which is essential to the work of the Commission. The public can participate in several ways. Prior to a meeting, written comments about agenda items may be submitted to staff. During the meeting, there are two opportunities for members of the public to participate. First, during the verbal communications period, an individual may speak on any topic that is not on the agenda. Second, during the public hearing portion of tonight's meeting, any member of the public may speak about an agenda item. You will be advised of these times when to speak on which items. If you wish to address the Commission tonight during the verbal communications portion or a public hearings agenda item, please raise your hand on Zoom, or for those here in person, complete a speaker card and give it to a staff member. When you are called to speak, please come up to the podium and speak directly into the microphone as this meeting is being recorded. You will have 3 minutes to speak. We will now begin with the verbal communications portion of the meeting, during which members of the public are invited to address the Commission on any issue that is not on the agenda for tonight's meeting. Staff will announce when your 3-minute time limit is up. I have a card for agenda item number 1, but I do have no other speaker cards. Are there any hands on Zoom?
There are not.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. No, it's okay. Tonight we have we have 4 items on the consent calendar. A big consent calendar tonight for us. We have our draft minutes from the October 29th, 2025 Planning Commission special meeting, and the draft minutes of the November 12th, 2025 Planning Commission meeting, an annual review of an approved conditional use permit for an existing private school, Hillbrook School, on property zoned HR1, located at 300 Marchmont Drive, APNs 532-10-001 and 532-11-011, conditional use permit application U-12-002, applicant and property owner Mark Silver, Hillbrook School. And lastly, our Planning Commission 2026 meeting schedule. Before the Planning Commission acts on the consent calendar, any members of the Commission or the public may request that any item to be pulled. Are there any such requests? Okay, seeing none, do we have a motion to approve? Commissioner Burnett?
Yes, I'll go ahead and make a motion or move to approve the draft minutes of October 29th, 2025 and November 12th, 2025, as well as approve and find that Hillbrook School is in compliance with our conditional use permit and no further analysis is required.
Can I just interrupt real quick? I have to make a disclosure on item 3. I'm recused, or I live within 500 feet of the subject property.
Okay.
So I need to recuse myself on item 3, sorry.
Okay.
And then one question, Chairperson, would you like to hear public comment on item number 1 before the commission votes? Is there a comment card on item number 1?
It does say for item number 1, but I think that they were telling me that it was really for 6.
Oh, okay.
No, Steve McGrath. Okay. It's okay. Thank you for confirming. Yes, Commissioner Barnett.
Yeah, I can support the motion, except I likewise am recusing myself on the 300 Marchmont due to proximity.
Okay. And then can we get a second before we move on?
Second, Chair.
Thank you. And then I believe that, I'm not sure that the draft minutes weren't, or the calendar for next year was also included in that. Can we confirm?
Yes,
Okay.
that is confirmed.
And then with the recusals, do we need to do, I mean, I know it's to act on a single motion, but can we?
I think it can be one vote, and then the minutes will reflect that those two commissioners recused themselves from each of those items.
Okay, thank you. Is there any discussion before I call the question? Okay, all those in favor, please raise your hand. And the motion passes unanimously with the 2 abstentions from item 3. Okay, moving on. We will now move on to our public hearing, starting with item number 5, which is to consider a request for approval for renovation and expansion of an existing automotive dealership, Los Gatos Luxury Cars, on property zoned CHHEOZ, located at 620 Blossom Hill Road, APN 529-16-014, architecture and site application S-25-026, categorically exempt pursuant to CEQA guidelines, section 15301, existing facilities, property owner SHP Ming Ming LLC, and applicant is Ali Sophie, I think. I'm sorry for that. And before the staff report, may I have a show of hands from the commissioners who have visited the property? And are there any disclosures that need to be made? Okay, thank you. Mr. Safdie, will you be giving the staff report this evening?
Sure will. Thank you. Good evening, commissioners. Before you tonight is a request for approval of an Arkansas site application for a partial remodel in addition to the existing Los Gatos Luxury Cars dealership along Blossom Hill Road. The dealership has an existing conditional use permit, which is not being modified with this application. The existing dealership includes showrooms with multiple automotive brands, 2 service shops, and second-story office space. The applicant is requesting approval to remodel a portion of the Rolls-Royce showroom, add 892 square feet to the back of that existing showroom, with siding changes along the front of the existing showroom facing Blossom Hill and modifications to the west parking lot. The new addition would be behind the existing building and would be lower in height than the existing. Proposed exterior materials include silver-colored metal panels with a flat roof profile. The rest of the Rolls-Royce showroom would be remodeled to have the same exterior materials, replacing the existing porcelain stone wall tiles. The building would retain a cohesive and unified design as required by the commercial design guidelines while providing slight transitions in color and materials for these different showrooms. The project would comply with all applicable town code standards, including maximum lot coverage, building height, parking, and circulation. New signage is also shown on the project plans, which would require a separate ministerial planning permit, as noted in the conditions of approval in Exhibit 3. You'll notice that 2 public comments have been received, both with the staff report and yesterday's addendum report, both related to noise associated with the existing use, which, as a reminder, is not a part of tonight's Arkansas site review. And it is worth noting that both of these public comments have been routed to the town's code enforcement department, who is actively looking into them. This concludes staff's presentation. We are happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions for staff at this time? Okay. We will now open the public portion of the public hearing on item number 5 and give the applicant an opportunity to address the commission for up to 5 minutes. Who will be speaking or coming up on behalf of the applicant?
So we have both the architect and the property manager, I believe, here. So this is your guys' opportunity to speak on behalf of the project.
And if you would just mind stating your name for the record.
Sure. My name is Ramin Naimi. I'm the vice president of the organization. We have delayed this project as long as we could with Rolls-Royce, and they wanted, a larger showroom because of the model lineup that they have increased with the SUV and all that. And now we have proposed a design of 894 square feet, as Mr. Safdie provided for you with a description of the project. And it's going to be behind the building, and it's going to basically create an area for the customer to gather and also a configuration area. and remodeling the showroom. It's a huge improvement to the building, the exterior, and everything. It's going to look very nice. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions for the applicant at this time? Okay, thank you. We now invite comments from members of the public. If you have not already turned in a speaker card to staff, please do so at this time or use the raise hand feature on Zoom. When you are called to speak, please state your name and speak into the microphone, and you will have 3 minutes. Is there anyone on Zoom? I have no speaker cards for this item.
There are no hands raised on Zoom.
Okay, thank you. So now the applicant team now has another opportunity to speak for another 3 minutes. So if you have anything else to say, now is the time to come up and do so. No. Okay. Sometimes we have questions like after at this point. So are there any questions for the applicant at this point in time? Okie doke. Okay. We will now close the public portion of the public hearing on item 5, and I invite commissioners to ask questions of staff, provide comments, or propose a motion. Vice Chair Birch?
Just a question to staff. As part of the conditions of approval, could we add in, I don't know if it would be under like 44 or 45 basically, to ensure that all construction trucks, they're not idling in the street, that they actually use, there's a pretty large parking lot back there, that they use the actual property for construction vehicles rather than having them park and idle on Blossom Hill?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I don't see a reason why not, although I do want to point out, I believe condition 45 does specifically say, no construction vehicles, trucks, equipment, and worker vehicles shall be allowed to park on the portion of any public town-owned streets without written approval of the town engineer. So did you want to expand upon that one?
Or idle.
Or okay, I missed that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Thank
see
you.
an issue with that, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Commissioner Sorty?
I apologize to the planner, but I missed the reference to the code issue. I think you said there were some concerns that came up that were being referred over to code enforcement.
Yeah, so there were 2 public comments, one in Exhibit 8 of the actual staff report, and then one in Exhibit 9 of the addendum, and both of them are from neighbors directly behind the dealership who are complaining about the noise of the pressure washing that's currently in operation. And so both of those have been forwarded to our code enforcement department since there's existing conditions that regulate both of those concerns.
Okay, so right now I see a permanent condition under the CUP that relates to auto washing during certain hours, and I guess the intent would be to keep the condition in its current form and just look further into the complaint.
Essentially, yeah, that's what our code enforcement department's doing right now. And there's also requirements to comply with our noise ordinance. So the next step would be to be taking noise readings from those areas to see whether or not they are in compliance with their conditional use permit currently. And then if not, then we would take action.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions? Anyone?
Chair, I have no questions, but I would move to support this application. I think it's the design from the renderings that have been provided to us seem to suit our town well. I think it'll be a great add. And so I would consider making a motion to approve the project as presented, containing also a strong recommendation as to the code enforcement to make sure that that's resolved before construction proceeds.
Okay, thank you. Can anyone second that? Vice Chair Birch?
I will second the motion.
And is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, please raise your hand. And the motion passes unanimously. Are there any appeal rights for this item?
Yes, thank you, Chair. So anyone who's not satisfied, excuse me, with the decision of the Planning Commission can appeal that decision to the Town Council. Forms are available online in the clerk's office. There's a fee for filing the appeal, and the appeal must be filed within 10 days.
Thank you. Okay, we will now move on to item number 6, which is to consider a request for approval of a zone change from C-2 LHP, Central Business District with a landmark and historic preservation overlay, to R-1D LHP, single family residential downtown with a landmark and historic preservation overlay, and a general plan amendment to change the land use designation from central business district to medium density residential for property located at 4 Tate Avenue, APN 510-44-054, categorically exempt pursuant to adopted guidelines from the implementation of the California Environmental Quality Act, Section 15061B3, Zone Change Application Z-25-002, and General Plan Amendment Application GP-25-002. The property owner and applicant is the town of Los Gatos. And before the staff report, may I have a show of hands of commissioners that have visited the property? Lovely. And are there any disclosures? Okay, good. And Mr. Mullen, you will be providing the staff report this evening?
Yes. Good evening, Chair. Thank you. The subject parcel is owned by the town and located at the northeast corner of Tate Avenue and West Main Street in the Broadway Historic District. The property is developed with a primary and accessory building, originally constructed as a fire station and later used as a museum. The museum use was discontinued several years ago, and both buildings are currently unoccupied. The town seeks to rezone the property from C2 LHP to R1D LHP, and a general plan amendment to change the land use designation from central business district to medium density residential. These changes would essentially revert to the previous residential designation of the property while continuing to maintain the landmark and historic preservation overlay on the property. Your staff report describes how the proposed zone change and general plan amendment would be consistent with the general plan and consistent with each other. And with that, staff recommends that the Planning Commission forward a recommendation of approval as provided on page 6 of your staff report to the Town Council. This concludes staff's presentation. We are available to support your discussion.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions for staff at this time? Yeah, Commissioner Burnett.
Mr. Mullen, what is the proper action for the Planning Commission with respect to the draft ordinance? Is that something before us or not?
So tonight, the Planning Commission's role is to provide a recommendation to the Town Council, who would then consider both items at a future meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Burnett?
Yes, I just have clarification here. So when we're doing this general plan amendment, and we're changing the wording from single family to, it'd be medium density to single family, like the R-1D. It would still be R-1D, but the wording has changed from single to medium density, and there's quite a difference in the amount of housing. The description of what you can do with that property. That's what I'm concerned about. Why are we changing that wording?
So I can clarify. There are two actions proposed with these applications. One is a rezone and one is a general plan amendment. The rezone, the request there is to change it from C2, which is a commercial designation, back to R1D, which is residential downtown. The residential downtown designation, that zone, I should say, allows for single family and two family dwellings. And if it's a two family dwelling, it would need to be contained in a single building. So the proposal from the zoning perspective is to change it back to a single family or two family zone, which would match the surrounding neighborhood. The second action, which is the general plan amendment, would change it from a commercial designation to medium density residential. And you are correct, while the medium density residential carries a density range of 5 to 12 dwelling units per acre, the lot is small enough that it would never achieve the 5 to 12, but also, and more importantly, from a consistency with a neighborhood use standpoint, The sort of catch valve is that the zoning limits the use of the property to single family or two family. So you would not get multifamily on that property based on the zoning.
And I'll just
And the town's
add,
rules.
yeah, I'll just add also, this is what it was general planned before we changed it to commercial a few years ago. And the R1D, the corresponding general plan designation is medium density residential.
Okay.
Can I just have a follow-up to that. I just want to confirm that all the surrounding properties in that area are also general plan medium density residential, correct?
Partially correct, yes.
Okay.
On one side, it's medium density residential, on the other side, it's commercial.
Well, yeah, the
this is right on the
residential
boundary,
ones.
so
Yeah.
either direction it goes, it's consistent and it's not spot zoning or a spot designation.
Okay.
So just to follow
Yeah.
up. So the bottom line is that it wouldn't change what could be there. I mean, we're not looking at duplexes and triplexes and.
What could be there under the proposed zoning is a duplex, but a triplex under the town's rules would not be allowed, or any more units than that in a multifamily configuration. One family or two family dwelling is what's allowed from a residential perspective as a permitted use in that zone.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any other questions for staff at this time? Okay, sorry, we're first staff, so this is the time. We're gonna do I'll do public comment in a second. Are we good from up here? Okay, and then we will now open the public portion of the public hearing on item number 6, and because the town is the applicant, we skip over that part, and we will offer up comments from the public. The first speaker card I have is for Steve McGrath. So Steve, Mr. McGrath, if you could come up, state your name for the record, and you can adjust the microphone accordingly. And then you will have 3 minutes to speak on this topic. And I do just want to tell everyone here in the audience that this is a public comment, and then we have the opportunity to ask you questions, and we can ask staff follow-up questions, but it's not a exchange. So express your questions, please, but just know that the typical, we are not responding, going back and forth right now. Thank you. Thanks.
That's it. My name's Steve McGrath. I'm here with my son, Marcus, and represent my family. We live at 305 West Main Street. So we are directly across Main Street from the proposed, from the property. I'm here to strongly support the zone change back as proposed. I feel that the zoning would preserve the history of the neighbourhood, which we feel is very, very important. There are so many areas of Los Gatos that are changing so quickly. We feel that this is a really positive influence to maintain the unique character of our town. I think you said earlier it's important, you made the comment that we're trying to match the surrounding neighbourhood. I think that's a key comment. We really feel strongly that this property should match the surrounding neighbourhood. In particular, the single family residential zoning is appropriate in this area due to the adjacency of the nursery and elementary schools. We feel that's very important because it's surrounded on all sides, 3 sides certainly, by residential. Anything other than that would be a significant change to the character of this historic area. Noise, traffic and parking are already challenging in this area, and anything other than single family residential would certainly generate more noise, more traffic and more parking issues. That's all I had. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you. Yeah, do we have any questions for the speaker? Okay, thank you very much for your comments. The next card, I don't have a name at the top, but I think it's for Irina Graf. Sorry. Thank you very much. If you speak together, then you will have 3 total minutes, whereas if you speak separately, then you will have, I just want to
3 minutes each.
3 minutes each.
So you can either choose to speak together for 3 or separately for more.
Okay. If you, will you just state your name for the record? And whoever did not fill out a speaker, whoever is not Irina, can you also fill out a speaker card so we have it? It's okay. So thank you.
Good evening, council members. My name is Sergey Graf. This is my wife, Arina Graf. We are Los Gatos residents and also part of the St. Mary's School community and also the parish St. Mary's community. And I'm here to respectfully request the council to pause the zoning decision for Tate Avenue so we can present our community serving alternative. So for Tate Avenue is not just a building. It was the art museum for many years, and right now we have a proposal and a plan for establishing there the art museum for kids, also that St. Mary's kids can attend it, and also for Los Gatos kids and teenagers, it will be the place for art creativity, and we're proposing a community art and innovation center at that building. So it fully preserved the architecture and design of this building. Also, it was a museum, art museum before, and we will keep that in line. So I think it is a great opportunity, and our community supported that. And we today spoke with the principal of St. Mary's School and the parish, Father Angela for the St. Mary Church, and they fully supported the opportunity to collaborate with the art center, so they will collaborate and fully support that idea. So we are asking to maybe a 60 or 30-day pause on this proposal so we can create the full plan, funding and financial plan for that idea. So we're asking to give the community a chance to bring this art center back to life and also create the museum and art center for kids. So thank you very much for your time and considering this idea.
Also, we have a pitch deck with the concept of this art space and combination between art, innovation, and technology. And we would like to serve our community with new technology from Netflix, Google, and video. And we have a representative from big tech company. We would like to serve our kids and teens to support them, and we have lots of representatives from our community who had cancer, and art therapy supports and can.
Yeah, we're also planning to do the art therapy for people who have illness. And
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Before you leave, are there any questions for the speakers? Okay, Vice Chair Burchin.
Yeah, just so I'm clear, so you guys are putting together a proposal to purchase the property for the like an art studio and sounds like an immersive experience.
The best thing is so we will put funds in the renovating of this property and renting it.
Okay. For community purpose, yeah, and for serving
as a non-profit organization like 501.
Okay, thank you.
And Commissioner Barnett?
Did you have any communications with the real estate broker who's been trying to sell that property on behalf of the town?
No, we don't, unfortunately. We just had this idea not a very long time ago.
If is it possible, we would like to send our concept presentation about this potential art center. And maybe is it possible to pause this kind of decision to deep dive into our proposal?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Did you get your question answered? I think that we will get you in contact with staff for any of the, to discuss and disseminate the proposal. I did also have a question for you. This space is designated a historic structure, and so that really limits some of the remodeling use, existing use, all of the things. So in your proposal, have you considered how this space being historic might impact the ability for it to be used?
Of course, yeah.
We are not planning to change anything outside. So inside, we look at the plans, and I think it is absolutely fine to create that space for learning and art classes and everything. So we don't need the parking because most of the parents are parked at the St. Mary's parking spots. So also, I think we can do some summer cafe near that. So yeah.
Community,
for
yeah.
Community and stuff.
And we would like to propose after-school programs, so our children and kids don't need to drive and drop off to this center. They just walk away from the school, and from the preschool also is near this building, and it will be very beneficial for all teenagers and kids of Los Gatos. Yeah.
Thank you.
Because I'm so sorry.
That's you answered my question. Thank you. Are there any other questions for the for the
because
speaker? I'm sorry. You have to the 3 minutes. So yes, it has to be fair. But thank you very much.
Thank you.
And the next speaker card that I have is for Kat Battaglia or Talia. Sorry, I didn't read that you put your phonetic spelling. The one person that does, I just skip right over it. Sorry.
My name is Kat Battaglia.
You can adjust the microphone so that there we go. Yes, thank you.
My name is Kat Battaglia. My husband and I live on the other corner of West Main and Tate at 300 West Main Street. And we are also requesting and in support of hopefully reverting back to the original and historic zoning for the property for same and similar reasons as my neighbors, but the character of that property has seemed very residential, and appearance-wise, it's never appeared to be a commercial-style building. So it's the blend with the neighborhood, assuming that it's under residential, seems to be a better fit, especially with all the little kids behind it. They share a long boundary line on the backside. And then, of course, on the other three sides of the property is all residential. The frontage of the property faces Tate, which is all residential. There's a lot of challenges for parking in the area as it is. Tate's really difficult. There's one side, there's a section in front where there is no parking. We see a lot of people that just traffic-wise looking for parking anywhere, they tend to come around the corner and make a U-turn and go back. I think they're looking for parking. It seems that if there was a commercial building or a business there, that would just extremely exacerbate the problem for everyone with parking challenges, and I think it would change the entire flavor of the neighborhood and the noise level. It's very much more, residential feel after a certain time, particularly in the evening. So I think that would completely change. I am also concerned that with those parking and traffic issues, we get a lot of gridlock in the area. I just think that would be worse if there was any kind of commercial business there. There's also a concern for emergency response when we have these gridlocked areas. Residential is just more calm, and I think it keeps in the flavor of the area and that particular building.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the speaker? Thank you.
Thank you.
The next speaker card I have is for Mike Wasserman.
Good Good evening, everyone. It's always nice to be back here. Nice to see all of you. I want to thank you all first for your community service. I really do. It's nice to see some new faces, nice to see some familiar faces. I want to thank staff for making the recommendation that they've made thus far. I'm going to repeat a couple of things that you've heard already, but I think what is before you tonight and endorsed by staff is an appropriate recommendation on their part. If you've all been out to the site, I'd like to see all the hands raised beforehand. Thank you for doing that. To the north of the property is a single-family home. To the west of the property is a single-family home. To the south of the property are two single-family homes. And for the record, I own 301 and I live at 303 West Main Street. So 3 out of 4 homes surrounding this piece of property are single-family residential. That's an important thing. The front door, as was mentioned, the house faces Tate. Tate's a residential street. To throw a commercial use out there is, in my opinion, not appropriate. It's residential. Residential fits there. There's a salon and such to the east, and that's kind of the line that we in the neighborhood see where commercial creep into the neighborhood stops and residential continues from there. Adjacent to this also is the nursery school. There's a traffic issue there. I would lobby for a stop sign as you're coming up Main Street or coming down Main Street right there at Tate, because people coming down Main Street, coming east on Main Street, coming down on Main Street, turn left onto Tate when people on Tate are trying to pull out. With my house right, I hear horns every day. The single-family residential use is a lot less intense or intensive as far as parking or noise. Whether it's one home or a duplex, it's that. Parking can be off the street. Tate at that area, because the St. Mary's down there, Tate at that area is parking only on one side, not on both sides. If it's a commercial use, where are they going to park? It has to be in front of homes. If it's a single family, there's enough space there for a single family or a duplex to be there, and off-street parking to be there. Noise would be less. I can say I've lived on Tate, Broadway, and Main Street, and Saturday, my family and I, including my granddaughter, were either in or participating in our 43rd consecutive Christmas parade. And I hope each of you were there. I know on Friday night I saw a lot of faces. So I will close by saying single family with historic preservation is appropriate. 1 second. There we go.
Thank you. Good job.
Thank you.
So are there any questions for the speaker at this time? No? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next speaker card I have is for Alexi Malik. Sorry.
Good evening. It is an honor for me to have this moment to share with you all my perspective. I understand it is a pretty sensitive, for the community, but I will say, speaking from a human being that strongly believes in a long-term benefit of what will be the best usage of this space, I do want to vote for changing the zoning, because we can always kind of look up for the high standards how to manage it, number one. Number two, the educational purposes and contributing to the community from perspective of bringing something as a value within their art purposes will, in my opinion, will definitely bring a more positive long-term effect from historical perspective, from today's standpoint. And as a town, I think we will maintain a better, we will maintain a better historical preservation for Los Gatos as compared to transitioning to the residential project.
Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the speaker? No. Okay. Oh, sorry, Commissioner Sorty.
I just want to make sure I understand your point of view. I think you were saying you're supporting reverting back to the residential, correct? Or
I'm sorry, no, that was wrong. So I'm supporting remaining the zoning.
Remaining with the commercial.
Yes.
Okay.
And I will add like my fellows, my friends who are sitting on the first row, family of two, Irina and her husband. So I'm totally like in line with their proposition.
I understand now. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Any other questions?
I don't think so. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And the last speaker card that I have is for Natalia. Thank you. If you could just, state your name into the microphone for the record, and you can adjust if you needed to. Thank you.
Okay, I'm Natalia Yuzefovich, and I have 3 kids, and I went through the cancer in 2017, and I'd be so happy that in this time, back to 2017, we had such kind of center, family of Graf presented today, to let my kids there, because I had full support from our community, from Dave's. They're driving my kids, and I have 3 kids, and helping with after-school programs, but I'll be really happy as a psychologist, as a, I don't know, economist and lawyer in my background. So to have such kind of amazing center. And actually I'm doing AI for art galleries, and I understand that we live different life and a lot of changes happen. So we have to be kind of, it's great to have next generation art hub here. It's they present it, and I think we are really happy to have family of Graf here, because they organized amazing last St. Mary's Carnival in autumn, and they are going to organize art festivals in spring, and it's great. And Irene is also, she's running our docent program in St. Mary's, and she has amazing marketing background, and her husband, he's amazing architecture and designer from British School of Design, and I think it's great to allow them to organize such kind of center in Los Gatos. And also I'm presenting parents from Harker. My husband, my son, oldest one, he's graduated from Los Gatos High School, and he started programming club there. And my daughter and my 14 years old Vasily son, they're in Harker. So I'm presenting Harker families. They live in Los Gatos also. They fully support this art immersive center here. Also to have after-school programs, and that will be great for community, and especially we are living mostly in a walking distance, and so it's not another huge traffic for downtown. We are just walking, and kids are walking here, and that will be amazing if you fully support their how it's called immersive art center for youth. And so I think it's great also to preserve this spirit of fire station we used to have. Yes. And to preserve it not as a residential, but it's community center is art, and here it's a kind of historical landmark.
Thank you.
And
sorry, your time is up, so I know that it's. But
I'm really supportive Sergey, who's the architect. He will keep the building as it is.
I'm sorry. Wait. Thank you. Do we have any questions for the speaker? Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. I do not have any more speaker cards. Is there anyone else from the audience that would like to speak on this item? Are there any hands raised on Zoom?
Yeah, there are a couple hands.
Okay.
First to speak will be Suzanne, sorry.
Yes. Hello, my name is Suzanne Fiore. I live at 5 Tate Avenue. I am directly across the street from 4 Tate Avenue. That's in question. I will save time and not repeat everything that some of the other speakers that have mentioned that are in favor of returning to the initial zoning of residential with historic. I am very strongly in favor of that for all the reasons that were mentioned, the ones that are really important to me. Parking issues are very difficult with only one side of the street, and the whole length of the curb on Tate to the corner to the driveway as non-parkable, as it should be because of safety issues. Our street is quite narrow. If you aren't parked very tightly to the curb, people's mirrors have been clipped, and it's not a place to be adding a lot more traffic, for sure. The concern that I had when it was changed to commercial and would still exist if it stays that way and has other uses than residential is noise. This is a quiet neighborhood. I know the school is nearby, the church is nearby, the nursery school is nearby. But on Tate specifically, those things aren't existing. They are on the other side, as some of the other people said, that property is 3 sides residential and 1 side that backs up to commercial and the nursery school. So, I think and it suits the neighborhood. One person said the building style suits the residential and historic nature of this neighborhood. So I am thrilled that this is being looked at, and I strongly support the residential change. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the speaker? No. Okay, and are there more?
Yeah, the next speaker will be Lisa.
Hello, my name is Lisa Mammal. I'm at 33 Tate. I have lived on Tate Avenue for over 30 years. I am 6 houses from the building that is in question. I strongly support reverting back to the single-family residential downtown with landmark historic preservation status. I echo some of the comments before, but I will just rejoin them by stating them. I want to remind those here that the width of this block on the street is 3 cars wide. There is difficulty with ingress and egress of cars coming in and out of St. Mary's, both as a church and as a school. I live across from the street from their parking lot. The addition of something that would stay business and or amplified as a business would only add to this traffic issue. At times, I have had to park a block or 2 away. I only have room for my 1 car in my driveway, and I can't access my home. This happened way back when the museum had artists' showings that would happen for the weekend, that we couldn't access our own housing, our own ability. You compound that with the summer beach traffic, and this is a jammed street. This last block here is gridlock. We have also worried about emergency vehicles, and indeed within the past 6 years, there was an emergency vehicle that could not get through. For many years, or for the past few years, there was an attempt to get a commercial resident in this building, and it's gone somehow astray. I don't know the reasons for which. That said, it's gone into disrepair, not finding a commercial resident to lease it. We have an obvious housing shortage in Los Gatos. It has been mandated from the state. It has been reflected in our housing values and our marketing of our residential area. This is an opportunity to chip away at some of that housing question. And finally, Tate Avenue is a proud community that hosts the Children's Parade. It hosts the bike race. It hosts Halloween. This is a community that comes together as neighbors and as ones who know each other and welcome others, but it's a neighborhood. It is not a commercial district, and therefore I strongly support reverting the back to the single-family residential downtown with landmark historic preservation.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the speaker? Are there any other hands raised on Zoom?
There are no other hands raised.
Okay. We will now close the public portion of the public comments on item number 6, and I invite commissioners to ask staff questions or eventually propose a motion. Commissioner Sorty.
Yeah, just a question for staff for clarification. So I think one of the commissioners asked earlier about whether or not the party interested in a commercial use reached out to the broker, but do we know if anyone who's in the principal role in this real estate transaction, which is the town, has been contacted as well? They're aware of that potential deal? Or
yeah, so I know that the town has taken the action to make the surplus land for sale. We do have a broker, I believe it's through Cosmont, is the brokers. They're preparing materials, but they have had inquiries from a number of folks interested in the property that know that it will be sold. So I would suggest that folks continue to look at that, but the town's intent currently is to sell this property. And so even with the reversion to the R1D, the town attorney had looked up, you can do that type of use in this zone with a conditional use permit. So, should things change or should someone buy the property and work out an agreement with them, then that's still an opportunity.
Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Brunnett.
Well, I'm concerned because there's, legitimate interest in a possible, I wouldn't call it commercial, but I would call it family-oriented use of the property. But I'm concerned because there was no input to the commission in advance of tonight. And there's a request for a continuance from the public. My thought is, since we're only making a recommendation to the council, that the parties have an opportunity to speak to the council about their concerns, or perhaps there'll be a change with respect to the broker in the interim. But my thought would be to approve the application, and I can make a motion when appropriate.
Okay, thank you. Did you want to?
And through the chair, just
yeah.
from a timing perspective, so the folks are aware.
Mm-hmm.
This process, the Planning Commission reviews this. They make a recommendation to the council. It won't go to council until their second meeting in January, because they will be canceling their first one. And then we'll have to go back for a second reading, which will probably be the first meeting in February. And if they take that action, then it doesn't go into effect till 30 days after that. So that's going to be clearly delineated in the marketing materials that the broker is putting together, that this process is underway. But just so folks have an idea of, this isn't going to be like next week where we've changed the zoning. It's got some additional process that it needs to go through.
Thank you. And then another follow-up question to that. The town has been trying to, I remember when we voted to change this to the commercial. That's when you've been on the planning commission long enough, is when you're undoing your own changes. But in that time, the town has been trying to get this property leased, and there's been, and every opportunity has fallen through. That's correct? No? Or
a little longer story than that, but generally the town had an agreement with a master developer who was actively pursuing commercial opportunities. None of those ever came to fruition. So ultimately, if I recall correctly, I can't remember if we actually just withdrew it or if we let it lapse from a time period. And so that's when the council started looking at other opportunities and landed on the sale of it, and then reverting back to the residential zoning designation and general plan.
Okay, thank you. So with that clarification, I also agree that that we should move this recommendation that staff has given us with the findings on page 6, or in considerations on page 6 that we need to make. I do understand, I mean, it is on a border area, and so originally, and we do need housing, and it's currently sitting vacant, and we've been trying to, there's been things that have been happening to try and fill this space for a while, but it is, I do think, worth noting that the changes won't be made for, as Director Paulson mentioned, for a while, and also that there's possibility to present for a conditional use permit of this space that would be other than residential. I think in that case, as Commissioner Burnett noted, we would have more information about being able to make an informed decision about the best use of that space. So that being said, Commissioner Burnett, do you want to make a motion?
I do. I have the findings as Exhibit 5. I think you mentioned 6.
Oh, I think maybe I wrote down the wrong, maybe it was page 6 of the last staff report, but yes.
It's on page 151 of the staff report. So with respect to item number 5 on our calendar tonight regarding 4 Tate Avenue, zone change application Z25002, general plan amendment GP-25-002. I can make the finding that the property is categorically exempt from CEQA, and I can make all of the findings in the staff report on Exhibit 5, on page 51 of the staff report. And my reasons were previously stated. Thank you.
Just one thing to note for the record, it's agenda item 6, but that's it.
Oh, agenda 6, yes.
Vice Chair Birch.
I was going to second the motion.
Okay, thank you.
And before we go forward, just so we can understand, the maker and seconder of the motion is to forward a recommendation of approval of both the zone change and the general plan amendment as illustrated in the staff report, as well as the modified resolution and the addendum.
Correct.
That is correct.
Is there any discussion? Commissioner Burnett.
Oh, thank you. So, I think this is a great use for this property to go back to residential. I think it, it's a perfect place to have a residence there. And my only concern was the general plan amendment, which was answered to my satisfaction. I was a little confused about speaking about the gallery. Is that what we're talking about with the conditional use permit? So it would be a business within the resident? That was confusing to me.
Director Paulson.
Thank you. So the use that members of the public spoke about, just wanted to make sure that even with the zone change, that is a use that could be allowed through a conditional use permit. That's not what is before you currently.
Thank you.
Any other questions or discussion? Okay, then I will call the question. All those in favor, please raise your hand. And the motion passes unanimously. And because this is a recommendation, there are no appeal rights.
That's correct.
But it will be seen by council sometime in January, February.
Correct.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay. We will now move on to our report from the Community Development Director.
Thank you. Just a few items. So November 24th, I believe it was, the council held interviews, and Commissioner Barnett was reappointed, as well as former Commissioner Adam Mayer. So he will begin early next year. Sadly, we're sad to see Commissioner Raspy go, but wish him well for sure. Next is Planning Commission will hear project for Twin Oaks next week at a special meeting on the 17th. And then the Town Council will be holding a special meeting on January 13th for the North 40 Phase 2 project. That will be a special meeting as well. And I believe that one also is going to start at 5 rather than the typical 7.
Okay, thank you very much. In addition to our service on the Planning Commission, members of the commission serve on several town committees. Are there any? I don't think there have been any subcommittee meetings. Okay. And so with that, I would just like to thank staff, commissioners, and the public for our participation this evening. There being no further business of the commission, this meeting is adjourned.